Earlier in our newscast, we told you about how an unpaid water bill by a landlord has left at least 4 families in Troy just days now to find a new place to live. Here to talk about this issue of tenants' rights is attorney Rosemary Riddell Bogdan from the law firm of Martin, Harding and Mazzati. And Rosemary, always glad to have you with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And boy, I'll tell you, ripped right off the front pages here. And this is really an important issue for a lot of people because you just really don't know. What if you're a tenant? What are your rights when it comes to a landlord?
Well, tenants do have rights, and the laws of New York do protect tenants. The big one that comes into play with this particular story with regard to turning off the water is the warranty of habitability, which applies to any tenant, whether it's a written lease or not.
What is a warrant of habitability?
Well, aside from being a tongue teaser,
yes, it is.
The warrant of habitability is basically, it's a warranty that says that the place that you rent has to be habitable for humans. And that's providing all the essential services that you need when you're living there, including electric and water, and certainly running water is something that's necessary to have a premises habitable. So it would be a breach of that warranty, absolutely, in this case.
Okay, so let's assume that somebody watching right now has a situation with a landlord right now where the landlord hasn't paid the bills to a utility and is either in jeopardy of having them cut off, or they actually have been cut off.
Well, actually, there are laws in New York that are with the Public Services Law, and what that requires is that the provider of the utility not only has to tell the landlord owner who knows they haven't paid the bills that they're going to turn off the service, they have to give that notice to the tenants. And so that notice has to be given to the tenants 15 days before the utility is anticipated to be turned off. And then the notice has to be repeated again between 4 and 2 days before the turnoff. And that notice has to have on it how to remedy it, how much is owed, who to pay. Now, interestingly, the tenant can prevent the service from being turned off by paying the overdue water bill. Then there's another provision of the law that allows the tenant to absolutely take that off the rent that they owe. So there is an ability for the tenant to stop the turn off of the essential services and then deal with the issue that they have, obviously a landlord who's not taking care of the bills in the property.
How to get the money back. It might simply be they take it off the rent.
They take it off the rent, and then ultimately they can make decisions if they want to stay or not, but they can, basically allow for additional time and pay that water bill so that the water doesn't get turned off.
Boy, that's great information today. Thank you so much. It'll all be on our website if you'd like to review that. And we'll be back with Mr. Food's Test Kitchen. We'll do that right after the break.
There are still a few things that you don't know about me.
You have failed.